Hey, what's going on? This is your boy James again, James Kirkland, coming at you again on behalf of Project R.O.B. Project R.O.B. R.O.B. being an acronym that means reclaiming our boys. Whether we know it or whether we acknowledge it or not, our young boys are on the verge of becoming extinct. If you look at statistics, things are rapidly declining. 1 in 2 African American males will drop out of high school this year. We are facing an epidemic. 1 in 11 African American males between the ages of 25 and 29 are already incarcerated. We're going on a bad or a downward spiral, and unless we do something about it, we're going to see things statistically get worse. I don't know about you. I'm tired of it. I know we've had meetings about it. I know we've had different types of things go on, whereas people had different focus groups and discussions. But I think it's time now to move beyond proclamation and move into proactivity. It's time for us to do something, to come together for a common cause, collectively, cohesively, so that we can attack this issue at its very core. Whether we know it or not, prisons are marketing our schools. Most prisons in this country are operated by privatized organizations. What's the purpose of a privatized organization? The purpose of a privatized organization is to turn a profit. How does a prison turn profit? The only way it turns profit is if the beds are full. If there's an empty bed, then potentially there's $20,000 to $40,000 a year that could be income for that prison that's being missing. So of course, prisons are marketing our education or our school systems. They determine how many prisons they're going to build in the future by how many 3rd and 4th grade boys are flunking these standardized tests. In Georgia, it's called the CRCT test. So that's why we've got to be prepared. We've got to put together a plan, a course of action to do something to try to change these statistics. Whether we know it or not, we make up the majority of the population of the special education students in this country right now. We make up the major population. So therefore, you got kids that are in 12th grade still doing 2 plus 2 and 12 plus 12 in simple math and simple division. Can't make it in this society and really be as successful as they could potentially be. So therefore, we've got to do something. We've got to attack this issue at its core. That's why I'm proposing Project R.O.B. Let's have a movement, just like the Civil Rights Movement. Think about it. The Civil Rights Movement dealt with the promotion of the African American, but I think Project R.O.B. deals with the preservation of the African American. And whether we know it or not, by 2020, statistics say that 2 out of 3 African American males will be a part of the penal system. That means that affects whether or not they can get a job, whether or not they can vote, several different things, whether or not they can get insurance, several different things. It affects their livelihood. So therefore, we've got to do something. We've got to do something, and that's why I'm proposing Project R.O.B. They say that we can't learn, but Juwanza Kunjufu tells a great story that I like to tell. It's about a teacher who had a class whom she said were children that were misbehaving, children that wouldn't sit down, children that wouldn't mind. One day she went to the principal's office and looked in each one of those children's folders, and when she looked in their folders, she noticed that in their files there were a series of numbers in each folder: 126, 130, 118, 123, different numbers of that sort. And she assumed that it was their IQ numbers, so she changed their curriculum. She changed what she was going to teach them and began to challenge those children, those same children that would not sit down. Now she began to challenge and to teach. And by the end of the year, those same children scored highest in the school as it relates to the standardized tests. So she, boasting in herself, went to the principal to tell the principal what she had done, how she had snuck and looked in the file folders and saw those quote unquote IQ numbers. But the principal let her know that those were not IQ numbers. Those, in fact, were locker numbers. And so what happened was, once her perception of the children changed, then her perception of how she could teach them changed, and those children, their potential was really realized as she went forth. Remember, what potential is what you can be if you will be. So if you expose somebody to something and they embrace it, then they become that we can empower them. So we have to expose our children to more so that they can embrace it. A child in the proper environment with proper guidance can learn, and that's what we got to do. We got to force that. That's why you ought not allow your children to go through special ed. Go up to the school, let them know your child can learn and that they ought to give them the necessary tools to learn. Listen, we got to move forward with Project Rob. I want you to go to my website, www.projectrob.org. There's simple text there now. You can read a little bit about what we're doing. We're going to do an overhaul of the site and put some more active interactive things on there so you'll be able to interact with us, because we really want you to be a part of this movement. Things can change. We can change the statistics. That's why I ask the question all the time. The world is changing. Why do you remain the same? Now listen, I want you to go to the website, look there, and if you want to, get you a t-shirt. It's a flag for the movement. It depicts a man that's holding a Bible, or a book that's emblematical of the Bible, and he's robbing the devil. And the devil's pants are sagging, has on a white t-shirt, had his hat to the back, a medallion around his neck. And I believe if your hat's to the back, I really don't think you're really going forward, because how can you go forward if you really seem like you're facing backward? That's kind of counter productivity. So I want you to go there and get those t-shirts. Those t-shirts are $10 for children, $12 up to XL adult, and $14 for 2XL, and we'll get that right out to you. So once again, go to www.projectrob.org. Now remember, I'll be coming to you from time to time with little statistics and little talks, and we'll continue to talk about little issues like the issue in Chicago. Don't let me leave you without talking about that one, about these young men who attacked this young boy and killed him. What's going on in the hearts of men? We've got to do something. We've got to provide guidance for these young boys, because a young boy who's uncovered, he'll begin to act erratically. I'll tell you this story one day about the African male elephant, a little study that was done with that. But listen, I want you to go to www.projectrob.org. Continue to listen. We're going to have simple things coming out talking about this movement, Project Rob. Now remember, the world is changing. Why do you remain the same? Have a good time. We'll see you next time.